What's up, everybody? Baron Von Straw coming at you with another action figure review. Today, after nearly 14 months of waiting, we finally have the Haslab Galactus coming in at 32 inches tall, just under 3 feet, one of the largest action figures ever made. It's finally here. We finally get to unbox it. Let's take a look and see if this was worth the 14-month wait. So once you get out of the shipper box, the box that the figure itself in, it looks absolutely amazing. This box art is fantastic. Looks great on the front. Looking on the side here, it's kind of like the inside of Galactus's vessel or ship, like technology looking, so that's a pretty cool thing on that. And then the back actually can serve as a backdrop if you wanted to do some photos. As you can see, it's a very large box, so you get like the backdrop kind of thing here for Galactus's machine. Really cool box art. Glad to see them putting this kind of detail into it. So when you slide the styrofoam sheet out, this is everything that's in there. All the figures, the accessories, the unlocked figure tiers, everything's in there, packed seemingly really well, so good job, Hasbro. I do want to say props to Hasbro for how they designed this packaging and sent this out. Some may have gotten damaged somewhere, but it seems to be a really good packing job and definitely a secure way to ship the product as far as something coming from overseas, so kudos. This is everything you get that is for Galactus himself inside the pack. You get that extra unlocked Doom head, the 2 antennas, I guess you would call them antennas, and then the 2 additional faceplates, which gives you a total of 3 faceplates, counting the one that's already installed in his head. So these are those 3 faces. You have like the standard regular look, the angry scowl, and then the bone face. So they all look great, very easy to swap out. You just kind of grab on the nose and kind of pull it out there, and the plastic or rubbery kind of feel just goes right in place. So super easy to swap those whenever you want to change the look of your Galactus. So to get this guy fully working, there are 2 battery compartments you would need to install the batteries into. The first one is on top of the head. So you remove this centerpiece, which is like a kind of a rubbery, softer, it's not really hard plastic, so it's easy to get back in place without damaging anything. When you lift this cover off, it reveals the battery compartment. Just use a screwdriver of appropriate size to remove the cover, install the batteries, and then you're able to just put it all back together. So the head will light up independently, so you don't have to have it completely together for it to all light up. Now the second battery compartment is what lights up the chest piece. That is located on the back. You'll see this like gray and purple rubbery plastic piece here. Once you remove that, it'll reveal another battery cover, same size screwdriver as the other one. Install the batteries in there, and that's it. Then everything will light up. If you activate either one, you can activate the head separately while it's detached. When you connect them, though, activating one will activate the other light piece. So if you push the button on the head, it will activate the chest lights as well, and everything will be all lit up, which I think he looks great. It's kind of a little bright, but all in all, I think it looks great. So looking at the actual figure itself, several points of articulation in the leg. You have the double jointed pinless knees on here, and then right where the boot meets the calf, there's a swivel in that as well. So several points of articulation in the leg. So in that knee, you get about a 55 degree amount of rotation on there, so pretty good. Now you obviously can't stand him up alone on one foot because he's a really big guy, and you don't want to, knock over a figure with the rarity that this has. So, but decent articulation for whatever pose you want to try to get him in. Looking at more articulation in the hand here, as you can see, every place there would be a normal knuckle is articulated. So the range of motion out of this hand, the things you can do with it are crazy. It's just like posing a human hand pretty much. So really cool props to them. Same thing they had with the Sentinel, just bigger in this case. Really cool. No complaints at all as far as the articulation you get in the arm. So this is the range of motion you get out of the elbows before it starts to hinder or possibly have paint rub. So decent range of motion there. Like I said, should be able to get any kind of pose you really want out of it. And then just like a regular ball socket that's attached over there, which was really stiff, but still able to be posed after you work on it a little bit. Now those hands are strong enough to also hold the effect bases that come for the heralds, but we'll be covering those more in the herald video. You can see looking at the torso, you do have a bit of a swivel in there. Kind of hard to move because of all the other stuff that's on there, and you definitely don't want to force anything because breaking it would not be good, obviously. A lot of the dark purple parts are like a softer material, so that's good. That does help with posability. So kudos to them for not making it all entirely just hard, rigid plastic. There's also an ab crunch built in there. You may not get a whole lot of movement out of that, obviously because of all the other stuff, and it may make him kind of off balance. But still, with all the points of articulation they put on this, it's great to see them working on that kind of stuff. So that's awesome. So if you lift that rubbery plastic skirt that he has, you can see the legs with the thigh cuts and everything. Standard articulation, just to a much larger scale compared to any other male Marvel Legend figure. So very consistent as far as where the articulation points go, and this guy just continues that. And just once again to convey the size, here is the Galactus standing next to a regular 6-inch figure, and then like a 8-inch size, like oversized deluxe figure like Thanos. So he's definitely a big boy. I think his scale works in great. I know technically in the comics Galactus was probably bigger than this, like he rivaled skyscrapers when he was on Earth. But I think for what we're getting and something that's still feasible, the size he is works out perfectly. And this is the peg that goes inside the head from the neck. It's got like a light sensor in there. That piece doesn't actually light up, but I believe it tells, like if you turn on the head, it tells the chest to light up and vice versa. I think it's just a little sensor that's inside there. So definitely a unique shape. Easy to swap out with the other head as well. There's not like a click or anything when you do swap it, but it does stay secure. And this is, of course, the other head that we got with the Doctor Doom. Why that was one of the unlocked tiers, I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, it's cool to have, but it's not. I don't know anyone who specifically went out and backed this Haslab because they wanted the Galactus with the Doctor Doom head. But that's just me. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Is there some other tier you would have liked to see added on there? Plenty of heralds they could have picked, but then again, that's just me. But I do like Doctor Doom, so it is cool to have, I guess. Definitely not going to be how I display my Galactus, but like I said, still cool to have. So this guy is definitely fun to pose around, but he is ginormous. So it definitely takes a certain kind of area in order to set that up. Here you can see the 6-inch cap next to his foot, so you can, just to give you an idea of how tall he really is at that 32 inches. But he is a lot of fun to play around with as far as posing and messing with as far as photography. Like I said, definitely fun to take pictures with. A lot of potential there, but because he is so big, that definitely can affect your setup depending on how your photography area is set up. So you definitely have to make some adjustments to stuff in order to get the shots that you may really want to get. But I've seen a lot of great photos out there so far, and I know a lot of people are definitely taking advantage of how awesome this guy is when it comes to like toy photography and stuff like that. So props to everyone who's able to get a photo with this guy. It's definitely not easy, but kudos to everyone who's been able to get that done. So based on size, I kind of just devoted this little shelf for all the Kickstarter stuff. So we got the Sentinel, Galactus, the Spawns. I didn't intend for it to become all Kickstarter and crowdfunded stuff, but that's kind of just what it became. So it works out. Keeps him out of the way. That way I know he's safe and not going to fall over and, then me just be out a hard to replace figure. So that's awesome. Yay. And just for anyone curious, this is what his head looks like without any of the face plates inside. So just in case you were curious, you can have this to fill your nightmares with now. So all in all, I think Galactus is great. I remember the backing price on it was $3.99 plus applicable taxes. For something we had to wait a year and 2 months on, I think he came out great. No issues with Galactus himself. There are some complaints I have about the box set itself, like the things that came with him, the figures on the add-on tiers. So I'll cover that in a separate video. But as far as just Galactus himself, I have no complaints. Maybe some additional effects or something could have been the only thing that they could have put in to go with him. Other than that, no complaints about the figure himself. So I would give it a solid 10 out of 10. I've not been disappointed with any of these Haslabs yet. It's really a shame that the Ghost Rider one failed. But then again, this one I think had the value. That one just didn't. And that's on Hasbro for putting it at such a price that us as collectors are not able to justify what we're spending versus what we're getting. So I think this one, it was well justified. He's huge. Largest action figure I've ever seen. It's great. I have no complaints on him at all. Fantastic figure. I think he really deserves the 10. I don't know what else they could do that would be able to top this one. Maybe a Giant Man, maybe. something along those lines. But yeah, I think he's fantastic. If you didn't get one, I would highly recommend trying to find as good a deal as you can on the secondhand market. This guy is great, and I think any Marvel Legends collection should have him. So with all that said, I do appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It means the world to me for everyone that subscribes. Trying to have a couple new videos out per week. I'll definitely see you guys in the next review, and thank you for watching.